Welcome to another episode of the Super COLLIDER Devlog. My name is Sohail Selki, and I'm making a game. This week I was able to wrap up the maneuvering functionality of the aircraft, so we'll get started with brakes and stabilizers. Stabilizers reduce the angular motion of the spaceship just to allow for more precise control of your turns. Brakes do what you think they do. They slow you down, allows for these really cool drifting movements and precise turns and controlled maneuvers. They're both bound to the same trigger, but brakes will activate only on 50% or more pressure. First maneuver is essentially a dodge roll. It uses a lot of propellant to suddenly change your velocity in any direction that you can strafe in. It's really useful for getting yourself up to speed, but you can also use it to change directions if you're about to collide with something. When you use a burst maneuver, it goes on cooldown for just a little bit, and the way that is indicated to the player is those little trails of blue exhaust coming off of the thrusters. The shield is definitely the biggest quality of life upgrade to come out of this, even with all the awesome maneuverability stuff. It consumes energy actively to basically build up shield health, and that is consumed on impact. What this necessitated, though, was a damage system. So this is actually starting to feel like a game because, you know, the system for losing health and potentially having a game over is now implemented. Definitely the biggest quality of life improvement with this is that when you hit something, you're not getting spun out if you hit it at a weird angle, like if it clips your wing and sends you spinning. Instead, you just kind of bounce off of it. The colored spheres here are just for visualization purposes. They won't be in game. The idea is that the player will now be able to be in different zones. So instead of traveling around just one sphere, they can be at different orbital levels around the origin, that glowing core there. I'm not really sure how I want to do transitions between that, probably with like some kind of animation or, you know, like getting to certain points in the map to be able to go between layers. But we'll see. I think it's an interesting mechanic. Part of what made the concept for this game so appealing to me was the potential for the player to be able to see through the map and see what's going on the other side. And this is just an iteration upon that, where they can see what's going on below them as well as they move further out. The targeting system is basically an interface for the weapons system. I don't have weapons set up yet, so right now all you can do is select and lock onto different targets. When weapons are implemented, each one will have its own sort of aiming scheme, and the targeting system will enhance those attributes. Little developer win here was figuring out how to draw these large arcs. So it's not just a straight line coming out of the ship, it's actually arcing around the circumference of the sphere. Here it is seen from the editor view. I think that's pretty cool. It's like jumping rope or something. That's all I got for this episode. Stay tuned. Weapon systems are coming up.